guys, welcome to another amazing episode of Lola's Voice. My name is Lola and I'm your host on this channel. If you're watching me for the very first time, you're welcome. This is Lola's Voice, and what I try to do is to bring more political consciousness, awareness into Nigerian political scene, and hoping more young people will be politically conscious and aware to enable us make informed decisions. And if you're watching me for the very first time, you're welcome. If you're back to watching me, you guys are the real most valuable player, and I truly appreciate you. Please don't forget to like, subscribe to my YouTube channel. On today's episode, I have a guest. Who I so much adore. He's very brilliant, he's intelligent, he's a public analyst. His name is Adigun. Hi, Mr. Henry. Welcome to the Last Voice, and thanks for joining me on the channel. I really do appreciate you. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about different things because I want to maximize my opportunity with Mr. Henry. If you don't know, he's a very knowledgeable person. He does consulting for governance and for Nigerian government, and he's a public analyst, a political analyst. He writes about social issues, and I enjoy reading it. Sometimes I like his posts without even reading because 99% of the time I agree with what he's saying. So my first question is, you were very much aware of the NSAS. For a generation that did something like NSAS, do you think we have maximized the opportunity that was supposed to come out of the NSAS, looking at the preparation for the 2023 election? Do you think the Nigerian youth have maximized the opportunity of the NSAS?
I think I can say no, and I can say yes.
Okay.
I think the thing people have to remember is that NSAS was an organic protest.
True.
It wasn't something that was schemed or scripted. It wasn't that people woke up one day and said, oh, we'll have NSAS. So it grew organically. And because it grew organically, when it folded up, it had to fold up inorganically as well.
Oh,
so there was it wasn't a movement that was created by anybody. There was no driver. Now what ought to have happened was that people like us, I told somebody that we failed them.
When you say we, what do you mean?
So they were young. They did something very good. They were a little bit brash and arrogant in some areas, but we didn't see the opportunity or helping them tailor their thinking into what could have been a movement, and that's why I thought we failed them. When the thing went all bad and they were blamed for everything that went wrong, what people like us would have done was get together and say, well, you guys have said something very good. You built something on the foundation. Let's help you layer it up. But what we did was allow the foundation to disappear as well, because we didn't do the right thing. We got caught up in the politics of it rather than the benefits of it. So that for me is the perspective about it. It's not something you can say good or bad. No, they didn't plan it. It wasn't organized. It was the reason why it was successful anyway, because it's organic. What we have to do is make them care enough.
Make them care enough
about the politics.
I want to talk about Nigerian Decide 2023. 8 years, almost 7.5 years have passed of the APC party, or President Buhari's governance, and it's crystal clear he didn't do well. It's audible to the deaf, it's clear to the blind that he didn't do well using his 8 terms. And now Nigeria is preparing for another election. And, I read you a lot, you write a lot about this election. And, we are seeing some political aspirants. We've seen, I think only one person has declared that I'm aware of, and 3 people. Okay, I'm aware of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I know Oshibajo is,
formally, Tinubu. Formally, Dele Momodu.
Oh.
Formally. Yes, quite formally. The third person is Mbono.
Okay.
Of PDP. 3 of them are declared formally.
3 of them, okay. I don't know of Mbono.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. And I'm seeing a lot of things in regards to Oshibajo. He hasn't even come out to declare, but he's doing it disguisedly, like his boys are working out for him, campaigning on his behalf. Maybe maybe he should run or something.
Yeah.
I'm just looking for a way where we wouldn't get it wrong again, like we did in the past, like 2015, 2019. We didn't see this coming. It was supposed to be a change of governance. It was supposed to be a change of everything. But however, I don't know. It wasn't a change. It was just, I think we went almost backward.
Not almost. We went backwards.
We went backward.
Yeah.
So what do you think we can do differently? I don't want people to make decision in regards to sentiments, which we always do. I'm trying to look at the campaign now between Ashiwaju and Oshibajo. I'm just reading stuff and I'm laughing and I'm like, are we going to go through this route again? Can't we question these people? Can't we look for competency? Can't we look for capacity? Issue-based governance. Like, how do you think we can go about this thing? Because we can't waste another 4 more years. Like, it's getting bad.
But sadly, we will waste another 4 years.
What did you say?
We will waste another 4 years.
We'll waste another 4 years.
That's sadly.
Oh my
The
God.
key issue is this. For things to happen, there's a vehicle needed. There are no vehicles.
When you say vehicle, what do you
A
mean?
party is a vehicle.
Okay.
So the lack of national platforms makes anybody that come out a failure. Whether it's Oshibajo, whether it's Ashiwaju, whether it's any other person, they can't succeed under this current environment. Once you don't have strong institutions, if strong men come out, they destroy institutions or destroy the polity. And it's a factor that we'll have to be realistic about. When you started discussion, talk about NSAS and the opportunity that was there to have built a movement around it. When you say issue-based campaigns, what issues? None of them will talk about the economy. Even talk about it, we won't believe them. None of them talk about the key governance aspects, we won't believe them. So we will have to live in another 4 years where we would only hope that the best of the worst come out.
Best of the worst.
Come out. But that will get competency? No. That will find people that have a vision? No. That will stop being petty and have issue-based discussions? It won't happen. We have 2 campaigns that are informal. We have a formal campaign. Ashwaju hasn't told anybody why he wants to be president. In every meeting he's gone to, he say, I want to be president. For what? For who? What do you want to do presidency? So you want power. Power for what? It's much touted about his change in Lagos State. I don't see it. I do not grudge him that he made marginal improvements. And I concede marginal improvements. But what Nigerian is on marginal progress? Nigerian is strides. Someone that can take strides. The vice president has not come out formally. Yes, except to the client. We know his campaign. Now,
Tactically.
It's tacit. But the issue is this. At the point we're in now, he has to be bold. And again, the country is so polarized. The polarity in the country is high. So I'm not certain he can commander and win votes, even within his party, to become the nominated person. But things can happen. But beyond that, there are many other people we could look towards. But the basic premises is this. There are no institutions.
So how can we come about this institution?
That is where a lot of younger people have to join these parties.
They must join the established political party?
Well, creating another platform from beginning will not work. The resources needed are humongous. The thinking needed is humongous. The challenges of penetrating established areas is very difficult. So best thing, move towards APC, move towards PDP. Now, PDP is not as strong as it ought to be. APC, after the commission got weaker, it's an opportunity. Then have a 10-year plan. You don't do something, one of the things that kills politics is when people that join politics immediately decide to run for office. And that's why a lot of people have failed us. When people like Shore, people like Hope Ezekiel Slesi, Fela Duty, and Co came together. The issue wasn't should have been, let's run for presidency. The issue have been, let's build a platform. Let's establish a base. Create something desired that people will come into. And then gently start nudging them into positions of authority. But when you say, oh, you want to be president, I want to be president, then everybody falls. So I don't think you should have much of the next 4 years.
Okay.
Certainly I don't.
So the way you answer this question makes me, I've been thinking about this, the obsession with the presidency. A lot of people are obsessed with, I want to become the presidency, of which there are other things where what you can do and, bring about change. What do you think about that?
I agree with you, but again, it's not peculiar to our country.
Okay.
We know the enormous powers the president has.
True.
We know the power of transformation the president has. Now, if we've had a transformational president or leader, it would have been much better than this. It would have been further ahead. Because the power of the president in Nigeria is humongous. I do agree and concede that the sum is a combination of the whole. I mean, a whole is a combination of the sums. So if you add everything together, it should give you a whole picture. And if states are weak, the presence will be weak. But again, even within that, we have examples not to refer to. As poor as Obasanjo was, you will still agree today that he's the best of the poorest.
I've read a lot about.
People
have said that.
It's the truth. I mean, I was around. I mean, I've been around since he was president. At that point in time, there was an attempt to bring back the middle class. Obasanjo understood the issues. The first 4 years, he played politics. The last 4 years, he got issues. And that's why some people supported his third term. I'll be fair, I supported the third term. I'm glad he didn't get it. But at the point he was living, I sort of said to myself, this man is not ready to hand over yet. He has built no successor, and the mess we're in is what I saw at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, so for me, you need people like that who understand what is necessary. His economic team succeeded because he was there, and he gave them support. And we had a beginning of a new middle class again. We started buying new cars, we started having more comfort. It wasn't perfect. There was high unemployment, there was displacement, there was human rights violation. So don't let me not make it like a picture of perfection, no. But there was a beginning and semblance of leadership. We could feel government gently. And that's all you need. When we talk about what are the key issues now, I had a privilege of speaking to the policemen at a retreat last year. And then later after a year, I had an opportunity to speak with the FRS officials. And I told them that the first person they see, and the only person many people will see as government is them.
Sure.
The VIO, the police, the FRS, soldier, that's government to you.
True.
Now, if these people were reformed, if, as they came in back to Nigeria now, you saw some information across the people, the migrations of people, you perceive a change in government.
True.
Not by seeing anything. You haven't seen any road. All you needed to see was a more polite immigrations officer, a more polite customs officer, a more professional approach. You wouldn't even care about dirty toilets in the airport or the smell that hits you when you landed. You think, oh, there's a change. You would see professionalism. Then if you're on the road of Lagos and you met people that were meant to enforce laws, you start feeling governance from that part.
True.
That is the beginning of government. That is the first thing government to do. But some people don't get it. They focus on those things that will never impact you and I. And again, the Nigerian society has been so beaten and to the point where, and pulverized to the point where they don't even know what it means to be government anymore. They're confused.
True.
Everybody if I ask somebody, you said competency, what's competency? A person called me this morning and told me that the more we say Tinubu sold us to the north, the more they want him as a person. You imagine how we returned Buhari for second time. And I kept on asking for that time. I said, on what basis?
That was my concern.
Let's assume we made a mistake first time. On what basis are we returning for second time? What have we seen?
Nothing.
I joked one day on my wall, let's have him for a third time. People are so angry and vehement. They didn't get sarcasm. People came and said, calm down guys, it's sarcasm, bring sarcasm. But you guys were so excited
to bring him back
second
for
time.
doing
Why
nothing,
not
like absolutely nothing.
Why don't you get him for a third time? Let him stay there in perpetuity, if that's what we want. And the same thing we have with all this issue. So even beyond Buhari's challenges, the system itself is ineffective. So you need somebody that would have spent, he came with a lot of goodwill. He would have spent first years building new stations. And it's not very complicated. Rebuild the police, rebrand the army, rebrand professionalism across services. That's how we do that. Then go to civil service. When you're even fighting corruption, corruption has two elements, omission and commission. Commission is one that, okay, we agree to be corrupt. Omission is because the system doesn't protect me. I was reading a case now, a judge who retired from the State judiciary hasn't been paid entitlement.
Wow.
She said it's sad that after spending over 30 years on the bench, she has to take the government to court to get her money. Why do people not become corrupt? When you've worked 30 years for a government and your money is not waiting for you, that's what we call commission omission. Because when you don't do the proper things, everybody's affected.
And I think the commission omission is what is actually affecting everybody.
All of us.
Just imagine a policeman that is underpaid. He needs to survive, or you are owing a policeman.
Are you saying underpaid? Underpaid is not even the issue. No. Policemen carry bags.
They carry what?
Bags for their gas.
Oh, okay.
One died yesterday, for doing job of gateman.
Wow.
He was opening the gate for Daniel's house to check him.
Oh
and they carry on over him. Why should the police? It's on the news. Why should the policeman be opening the gate? I see the policeman too, happy to be used as a servant, happy to be chasing everybody that is oppressing him off the road, happy to be carrying madam's handbag, running after them. So the system has popularized thinking. There is no dignity. There is no pride. You're wearing your uniform, there's something you say, I can't. I'm not going to be a gate opener.
Sure.
I'm not going to be a bag carrier. But these guys will run after them. If madam don't give them, say, madam, give us. Now, we're there for you.
Because they know madam will settle them at the end of the day.
So it's not poverty of financial, it's poverty of the mind. And then the lack of dignity. Some poor people have dignity. Many rich people have no dignity. When you see the way they camp at where they get contracts, you see the things they do to get that money to buy the S-Class. They grovel. They grovel in front of power. They debase themselves for crops. And then when they buy the Rolls Royce, that's why they want you to oppress them and make you feel well, they worked hard for this thing. They didn't work hard. It's governing. What Nigerians call work hard is saying, I spent 25 days chasing my minister around. I carried his daughter to school. I was all over the place. I even went to meet him in London at a meeting. That's working hard. Things that shouldn't happen. So when they now make the small change they make, the fact that they have themselves been debased, not others to be debased. So we've created a society in the structure where we're taking out three things. Taking out dignity, taking out shame, and we put in oppression and an avoidance of truth.
Wow. Avoidance of truth. I think that's the biggest thing. When people see black, they call it white, and I really don't know how we can go about this. So for 2023 election, it's almost here.
Yeah.
What do you think? Because you said we might miss it, but what do you think we should at least try, right? Because
with these parties.
So are you saying we should give up?
Have you seen the quality of people contesting for APC chairman? You're in Abuja and I can see their posters all over town.
Yeah, I saw Sheriff.
Have you seen any of them who can transform that party?
Not
Have you
really.
seen one person in the poster that can say this guy can transform a party? And I told you that if you don't have effective platforms, you can't build a good system. Look, we see what Trump did to Republicans in America. Even an established democracy like that, he split the party. Trump's imprint on the Republicans will be there for at least 15 more years.
Wow.
Yeah, you've seen it. Even now, people will see the truth and lie. Today, he was praising Putin. He would say anything. It's the way it is when you don't have any good structure.
So what can we do?
What you're doing is one thing. Educate more Nigerians. Believe in incremental values. Like I said, join these parties. People should join parties.
And when you say people, I'm more concerned about, more young, educated, and enlightened
The
people.
young person wants to japa.
I wouldn't blame them.
Me too. If they offered American visa in a villa, Baba said we'll go. So let's not be lying to ourselves. There will be nobody left except maybe the rats and cockroaches. You'll be surprised that Baba will have applied for those parents of Nigeria. Say, Baba, come back, you're president now. Man, don't listen. Baba, you can't go, you're Nigeria. Man, don't japa. So I don't blame them too, but again,
one thing I must say, even though if you japa, like me, when I went abroad, I didn't have the mindset of japaing, because I just went to school. I didn't face any adversity before I leave. So it wasn't when people say, oh, Nigeria is bad, I see it, but I couldn't see it.
You couldn't feel it.
Yeah, I couldn't feel it. And another thing is that we can all japa, but one thing still remains, that you're Nigeria before you are anything else. If I'm anywhere abroad and I open my mouth, before I say, oh, can I get you a cup of coffee? The first thing they are going to ask me is that, where's that accent from? Exactly. Because my Nigerian accent is very thick.
It is because you want to fake it. People can escort you to the airport in Nigeria and come back to American accent.
So even if you japa, we still have that identity.
No. I mean, I don't even understand. See, I think again, a lot of us are not helping others. I mean, you travel, I travel, I've been around, and I know it's not that the grass is green on the other side. I know how tough it is to make it there.
And I like saying something. There's no perfect policy
everywhere in the world. I mean, I was telling my wife when we were discussing it about our other friends that left Canada, who left from shore. I said, she can't understand people that work in those kind of places, live in Nigeria. I said, well, there are three things there. There's a mindset of despondency. When you get to the point where you feel despondent. Look, I live in a bubble. This is my office in my town. My house is in Uye. I might not see I can go from here to Wili every day of my life, from here to the airport, and not see poverty in the real sense of it. And I'll be surrounded by luxury. If you drive around Abuja at night, yesterday I went out yesterday evening, you will not imagine the poverty that happen in other parts of the country. So you can live in that bubble where everything is all rosary, there's 24 hours light, you have water in your house, others are provided to others. And then so in your mindset, you're insured from the anomalies. Now you can also live in a place where all you see is filth, all you see is degradation, all you encounter are those people that are, so it's all negative. And that's another mindset. And then you could also think again about your children and imagine like you craft a future for them somewhere else and say to yourself that this guy will offer a better platform for them. It's all your mind. And I've always said it, success is a function of location. Now, success is a function of mindset and accepting your own reality. So we haven't told the Nigerian story well. The percentage that leaves Nigeria is a fraction of those who stay.
True.
What we suffer from is what we call the DSTV effect.
DSTV effect.
Let me tell you what that effect is. Several years ago, I used to ask people how many dishes they think except Nigeria, how many people are subscribed to DSTV. You'd hear 17 million. What's your thought? How many people have DSTV in Nigeria?
I don't know, maybe 50 million people.
What? They're not even 3 million.
They are not 3 million.
They're not even 3 million.
3 million?
Subscribers.
Really?
Even numbers of sale are less than 2.4.
I thought they said we are 300 million.
No, forget about what I tell us. I'm saying the numbers of subscribers for DSTV are less than 2.4. Active subscribers are less than 1.5.
Wow.
But you see, because you have, your neighbor has,
everybody has DSTV.
In your own faculty.
Wow.
So when you see 4 people that have left Nigeria for Canada in your circle, or you know 2 people, you say everybody.
As Japan.
Now, what's total net immigration to Canada, US and Co? We haven't had 1 million people from Nigeria. Maybe in Canada now, maybe we have 40,000 families. Maybe in America, maybe around 20,000 immigrants. So it's not saying that numbers are so high compared to our population. You get the point. So there are those people who are here, who are doing exceptionally well, even in bad circumstances. I mean, we're netting up big deals with telecoms. Every time we're attracting a new bigger deal, that story is not being told. We're letting people succeeding despite it. We're even building schools in Nigeria that can compete favorably with national colleges abroad. People are building universities, investing in infrastructure. It's happening. But that story is not being told. So the story we'd like to tell is Monja from here. And then when you open Facebook or LinkedIn, and somebody says here and there, somebody says, when I left Nigeria, I had no car. Shows you himself in Canada. He won't tell the public that this is not a big deal in that society.
True.
That he can get a car because he's got a job and he can be paying for it over a period of time. You don't tell anybody about the interest rates and credit cards he has to pay. You don't tell people that if he doesn't work for 2 weeks, he's in soup. That's what will be told. And then the guy here will say, oh, I haven't made it. But the guy here is also going further. The guy here is also doing well, but he doesn't know. In his mindset, I'm not moving because he doesn't have everything else. Then when it all comes, it all comes. When I tell people that, the reason why I don't celebrate things like vehicles, houses, and cars, when you've done it, you've done it. It didn't matter how long you did it. So those are things you don't celebrate for me. Now, what you celebrate is the value and quality of life you have. Put something, they get there.
Sure.
I told everybody here, you are one step away from poverty. If your enemy has kidney problem, poverty has entered your life. You start doing Adigun, appeal, you help us, set up. It's not the way it works because there's nothing. And this is the issues they should ask them to fix. These are the issues that people should talk about in governance. One of the reasons why I don't support Tinubu is if a man ran a state for 8 years and could not put any major medical facility in place in the state, what did you do? Same thing with President Buhari. National Hospital was built by a late president. Mrs. Abacha gave us National Hospital. I asked her, what did Jonathan give us? Selch. To where I said she was building a cancer center.
Is it working?
There's nothing there. Just built. If you've been in government and you're a leader of people and you had suffered a health crisis, why not have 6% of excellence? Pick youth, pick UI, UCH, pick Abuja Teaching Hospital, pick Enugu, anyone, say centers of excellence, referral hospitals, revive primary health care, do social insurance for people. What else do you have? One of the reasons why Canada is more attractive than US is healthcare.
True.
In America, if you are sick, you are dead.
You are dead.
You are dead and you are dying and you are buried. All could happen, all could happen. But if you travel across the border there's something there. Those are the kind of things that attract people to those countries. If my mom now, if she says she wants to live in Nigeria, I'll be like, don't come and stay here. Stay where you are. Because if you faint there, you won't be doing
because there's already an insurance. Thank you. I think that's very detailed. So lastly, what do you want to tell young people? I don't like saying young people again because I feel like they ought to do a Google.
Well, you are correct. What I tell people is this, and I tell people is this. First thing, you have the right to determine how you want to live your life. So do not say anybody tell you don't leave, don't go, or stay. You determine your purpose in life, and it's a global world now, and the global world is changing. And I tell people, my friends, that we can't expose our children to the global world and tell them not to pursue it. But the other thing again is remember that your identity will change because you've moved somewhere else. You said it yourself. I met a man one day in a station in London, I think in Victoria Station, and I went to greet him. I greeted him in Yoruba. The man was upset with me. Shemokolani. That how I know was Yoruba? He was so upset. I'm like, but I will recognize a Yoruba man like me now. I said, man, he was very upset. He didn't want to, maybe he's been in London for 25 years, and I could still pick him out as a Yoruba man. Now, UK has a passport policy. You can revoke your passport anytime. Yeah, it was announced about 3 months ago. You can revoke your passport despite you being a British citizen. Trump almost did that in America. If Trump had stayed in power for another 4 years, a lot of people that had green cards and co would have lost it based on one flip excuse because they want a white America. They don't want a black America. The world is becoming loudly more anti-immigration. Loudly. It's all everywhere. So you have to have a place to come back home. And the second thing is this. We can build.
We can build Nigeria.
Oh, we can. Look. I tell people.
I love when I hear that because a lot of people are that I don't like to hear that.
We are building. In fact, we're not building as fast as we want to build. We are building incrementally. There are changes. I tell people, so when somebody says Barry has been a disaster, yeah, it's been a poor leader, but you cannot say everything is done. You give it to him that some things is done. Whether it's even from the fact that some consciousness of people have come forward is one thing. Whether it's the fact that we've demystified that integrity thing or personal attributes going to leadership, it's gone. Isn't it ironic that the same people that are talking about integrity are the ones supporting Tinubu now? The same people that was telling us integrity was something we vote for, who said Atiku wasn't good enough, and now saying Tinubu is a great person. That tells you that these people have been trying integrity, let's pack it aside. We have to think about other things now. So there's one thing about that. And then secondly, again, there was this talk before that Jonathan did not like the North. Jonathan was anti-North. If Jonathan was pro-North, he would have solved Boko Haram issues, whatever. I'm not saying he's a good president. I thought he was a poor president as well. But look at what we've seen now. They are all in leadership. They run everything. What has changed?
Nothing.
Simply got worse. So even that is learning, and that's change.
So that's
that they
know
something. They know, and the fact that a sizable number of them, despite the play of religion attempted by the majority. I mean, there's a video going around where a sheikh is saying they shouldn't vote for an infidel, saying blah blah blah. There's another one talking about the VP wearing a shirt in mosque. All those things are there. But if despite that, there's still a sizable number of people who say this is the best we want. Despite that. And despite that, there are a lot of Christians who want to vote Ashwaju as well, who support him. Southerners, we don't really care about it. But when people like Farouk try to write that kind of article, it's all of us come together and say, shut it down. We're not divided there. All of us don't think about it. So there are ways like that. And thirdly, people are doing well incrementally. It's just that people don't understand where to cut off first. Now we have two people on social media. The one's begging for money, and the one's begging for envy.
For envy?
Yeah, no. Some people begging for envy. In Mujahid to buy. In Mubadi to buy. They're begging for envy. They are beggars too. They want you to envy them now. See me posing. See me enjoying life.
Okay, I don't know.
You didn't know that people beg for envy. There are a large number of them. When they show you things like, they're wearing this kind of watch. They're not looking for you to say, they are begging for your envy. They are beggars. They want you to look at them and say, and then they create a wrong narrative of what it means to happen. People now think that it's okay to have money and be spraying with a machine. It's okay to have money and be showing what you ate. They show their food. They are eating chicken today. They are making amala tomorrow. They are making chocolate rice tomorrow. All those detestable attributes of a proper person. They made it shallow. And one of the things we've allowed the shallow people to dominate the space. There's a write-up by the first lady of a state, Miss Fayemi.
I read it.
That's what I meant.
She said, stop it.
They need to stop it.
Sure, I read it.
When we talk about narrations, that's okay to live in some areas. It's okay to start off this way. It's okay not to be able to afford everything you want. It's okay to understand that growth is incremental. It's okay. That's something we should start telling them. Okay. The more of us tell those stories, the better it is for people who work with.
Thank you. One last thing. I know I said that earlier on. 2023 election is coming.
Yeah.
How can people actively participate? A lot of people think, just going out to vote during election, and people don't even go out to vote.
Voting is even the last.
So how do you think people can actively, just summarize it, how people, young people, middle class, how people can actively participate in politics to ensure...
Interrogating the process.
Interrogating the process. So what do you mean by that?
What? I always tell people that I'm not a function of an outcome. I never focus on outcomes. I follow process.
Okay.
If you want to make, you've got a cookbook before.
Mm-hmm.
This is how to make cheesecake. Follow the instructions, you make cheesecake. This is how to make ogbono. Follow it, get ogbono. Now, if in the manual or recipe given to you to make cheesecake, if the measurements are wrong, your cheesecake come out wrong if you follow it.
True.
Now, so voting is the last stage. It's like when you put the cake in the oven. If the ingredients have been wrong, your cake will come out bad. So your voting is not the problem. The participation process is saying, how do candidates emerge? How do we ensure that we can put one or two? We don't even need to focus on the presidency. The power of people lies with National Assembly. If you had 50% of them being more conscious of Nigeria, we'd have seen more changes. So the question is, how do we get more people in these spaces? How do we ensure that those that we give leadership to are those that understand leadership? The SPG team I invited you to nominate you to is based, that's the reason why we formed it, saying even those in government sometimes don't know what to do.
True.
You meet them, they might have all the best of intentions. Not everybody that goes to National Assembly wants to steal or the governorship. But when they get there, they're captured by the system. So what the young should do is interrogate that system.
Question it.
Ways, ask questions. You see, people fear public opinion. NSAS made a strong impact. After the NSAS process, I also saw some legislators in Lagos and senators, Radisson. I never them shared with me how scared they were.
They should be scared.
They were scared. They were scared, and the scare part was I didn't want them to be scared. What I thought should have been done is they should have felt remorse to say, look, if we don't build anything, they'll kill us. I told somebody when somebody says revolution, I'm like, calm down. The poor don't differentiate how rich you are. They won't differentiate that you have only a third, what do you call it? What do you call it? Card that be used again? Second hand card. Nobody talk about a third hand card that you're driving on. In their minds, even if the car is being rich.
True.
And you're already seeing that in the East, where they're killing people for driving cars, shooting them indiscriminately and killing them. That's
I saw it. So, in summary, you're saying they should interrogate the system and follow through the process.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Mr. Henry. I
Thank
think this was very detailed. I learned a lot, and I hope you also learned something. What I'm taking away from Mr. Henry is that coming up for the Nigerian Decide 2023, for me, I think this is a very crucial election, and even though we can't get it right completely, we should at least try. And it's saying what young people can do is to interrogate the system, question the system. Let's follow a process and ensure we vote when it's time, so that we can have credible people to even vote for when it's time for election. Thank you very much, Mr. Henry, for joining me on today's episode. And if you're watching me for the very first time, my name is Lola, and I'm the the host on Lola's Voice channel. The major objective of my channel is to ensure more young people are politically conscious and aware. And please, if you like what you're watching, if you like what you're seeing, please kindly like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, like the video, share the video, and also, drop your comment. I want to know what you think. I want to read from you and also hear from you. Thank you very much. Thank you.